It's a beautiful evening for stargazing, so tonight we're going to look at the famous Ring Nebula M57 in Lyra the Lyre. And this is a deep sky challenge number 4. You're probably thinking, so what's so challenging about the Ring Nebula, Sula? Probably most of you have seen it multiple times. I know I have. It's a beautiful object. But how many of you have seen the central star? Probably not very many of you. So that's the Deep Sky Challenge. For the rest of you who don't own a large telescope or have never seen the Ring Nebula, I'll tell you about it and how to find it and what there is to know about the Ring Nebula. Hello. Hello and welcome to the program Sula's Big Adventures with me, Sula. In this episode, we're going to look at the famous Ring Nebula, Messier 57 or M57 in Lyra the Lyre. I always called that constellation Lyra the Harp when I was growing up, but it seems like everybody calls it Lyra the Lyre, so I'll try to call it that too. After all, this constellation is called that because of Orpheus, who played the lyre so beautifully that he could tame wild animals. If you want to know the entire story and more about the constellation and the legend associated with it, you can watch my video, Guide to the Constellations of Summer. But back to the Ring Nebula. The Ring Nebula is a planetary nebula, meaning it is the remnants of a dying star that has exhausted its hydrogen fuel and it's expelled massive amounts of ionized gas around it and is on its way to becoming a white dwarf. The Ring Nebula is 2,000 light years away and has an apparent magnitude of 8.8. It's small though. It's 1.5 by 1 arc minute. According to NASA, the Ring Nebula was discovered by the French astronomer Antoine Darquier de Pellepoix in 1779, although Wikipedia claims that Charles Messier discovered it. At magnitude 8.8, the Ring Nebula can be seen in very large binoculars or small telescopes. But to make out this beautiful ring with the details and color, it requires a moderately sized telescope of 6 inches or larger. And to make out the central star requires a very large telescope, excellent transparency, and excellent seeing, and incredible patience. It's not for everyone. In fact, it's quite nerdy to even try to see the central star. But I'm going to try again with a large telescope. But I'm going to start by looking at the Ring Nebula with this little 90mm refractor. To find the Ring Nebula, it's pretty easy. First, find Vega, the star that Jodie Foster visited in the movie Contact.
Whatever it is, it ain't local.
Position?
I checked interferometry somewhere in Lyra, I think.
Vega? Can't be. It's only 26 light years away.
And makes up the brightest star in the so-called Summer Triangle. Once you find Vega, you'll notice a parallelogram southeast of Vega that outlines Orpheus's lyre. And the parallelogram is made up of 4 third and fourth magnitude stars, Zeta, Delta, Beta, and Gamma. Beta is a variable star that you can witness changing brightness with your naked eye. Beta is also known as Sheliak, and Gamma is also known as Sulafat. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing. To find the Ring Nebula, look 3/5 of the way from the third magnitude star Beta, also known as Sheliak, and Gamma Lyrae, also known as Sulafat. This is Lyra, and that bright star is Vega. And here's the parallelogram, and there's Beta, and there's Gamma, so M57 is about right there. Very easy to find. The best time to see the Ring Nebula is August, but it's still fine to look at it in September. Lyra is high overhead just after sunset. It's almost at the zenith, in fact. and so I should be able to see it really well. Tomorrow is the autumnal equinox, and here in the mountains that means today is the last day of summer and tomorrow is the first day of winter. So I have to go get more clothes before we start, and I forgot my red light. I'll need that too. And so I'll be right back and we'll get started. Wow, very pretty. I'm looking with the 16 millimeter eyepiece. That gives me 37.5 times magnification. And it looks like a hazy oval, very small, very small. Don't be afraid to increase your magnification with planetary nebulae. So I'm going to go get an 8 millimeter. That still won't be very magnified. Maybe I can use my 3 millimeter eyepiece and magnify it even more. And also with planetary nebulae, use an O3 filter to enhance it. And so I'll be right back to magnify it some more. Wow, that was beautiful. I put the 3 millimeter in. That gives me 180 times magnification, and that's as high as I can magnify with this telescope. And I could see the halo and the blue. It was beautiful. No chance at the central star. I'm not even trying because it's just not possible with this little telescope, but what a beautiful look. I didn't put the O3 filter in because it looked pretty good just with this 3 millimeter eyepiece at 180 times magnification. What a beautiful object. A great object for a small telescope. And if you have a manual mount, very easy to find. So it's a great object for a manual mount and small telescopes. So that was the Ring Nebula M57 and a 90 millimeter refractor. Very pretty. Very nice object for a small telescope and a manual mount or a go-to mount. But very easy to find and a beautiful object. No chance for the central star, so now we're going to go over to a large telescope and see if I can see the central star. So let's head over there. Oh, wow. Beautiful. Wow. I've heard credible reports of people seeing the central star of the Ring Nebula with a telescope as small as 8 inches aperture, but that was under the very best of conditions. I really think it requires a 12-inch or larger telescope to see the central star of M57. I've never seen it. The central star, according to Interstellarum, is magnitude 15.8. Very, very faint. And not only that, but because it's in the center of the nebulosity, it will make seeing the central star even harder. To see the central star requires very high magnification. My 12-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope has a limiting stellar magnitude of 15.1. So it may not be possible for me to see the central star. It's the biggest telescope I own. But I've read different opinions about the magnitude of the central star. You never know. It may be a failure, but I'm going to try. And there will be many failures in your journey to becoming an amateur astronomer. And the reward for your effort is that you get to study the Ring Nebula even if you don't see the central star. Study it for a very long time, and this will allow you to make out more details on this beautiful object. So I'm going to increase the magnification. I started out at 95 times, and it looks wonderful, and I can see the blue color, and it looks beautiful, but I'm going to put in at 8 millimeter, and that will give me 381 times magnification. Let me go find that eyepiece and study it for a while. I'll be back in a minute. It's okay that I have this white light on because I've completed my observing for this evening anyway. Even though I read that August is the best time to look at the Ring Nebula, I like looking at it when it's this high in the sky with this telescope because I can use my observing chair and the eyepiece is right at eye level and I don't have to use my ladder. Very comfortable viewing for looking at an object for an extended period of time. I set a timer on my phone and I observe for more than 30 minutes. So very comfortable viewing and very beautiful object to look at. I observed with the 8mm stellar view eyepiece that gave me 381 times magnification, and it looked great. And I put in an O3 filter and it enhanced the halo, and it was just beautiful. It looked like it was exploding at one end, and it had an oval shape, and it was just beautiful. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous object. But I tried averted vision. I took the O3 filter out. I stared. I looked away. I jiggled it. I could not see it. I'm not going to call it a failure though, because I got to look at the Ring Nebula in a 12-inch telescope for 30 minutes, and it was beautiful. And I'm going to make a beautiful sketch of it. So I didn't see it, but hopefully you can see it. But it requires the very best of conditions. It requires excellent transparency. There can't be any moon. The seeing has to be good to allow you to get extraordinary magnification. Magnify it as much as you can with your telescope. Try averted vision, try jiggling the telescope, and hopefully you can see it. Let me know if you did in the comments. I hope at least one of you can see it or has seen it. I'll keep trying, but tonight I didn't see it. That's terrible that the creator of this video about the Deep Sky Challenge didn't see the object, but oh well, that's the way amateur astronomy goes. And anyway, as I said, I saw the Ring Nebula in Artemis, my 12-inch telescope. I've seen it before, but it's a beautiful thing to look at again and again. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see y'all soon. Until then, oh, I did put the 3mm in. That's over 1,000 times. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't focus. Anyway, I'll see y'all soon. Dark skies forever. Sula, signing off.